Pardon me. Good morning, folks. My name is Kurt Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. Purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if there's probable cause for those charges. Probable cause simply means it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, and more likely than not that you're the person who's committed that crime. Of course, as you stand before me this morning, I presume that you're innocent of these allegations. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings unless and until the state attorney's office is able to prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release this morning. That'll be your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit of the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this morning. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, I have a pair of assistant state attorneys in the courtroom with me this morning. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. And I need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. Do all solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth? Outstanding. When I call your name, please step forward to the podium. Carrie Kearns. I want to carry what's your date of birth?
1986.
I have a number of charges for you this morning. I have a grand theft auto. Then I also have a possession of methamphetamine, 2 counts of possession of controlled substance, 1 count possession of marijuana with intent, 1 count possession or introduction of contraband into a detention facility, and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause for all 7 counts. As to those charges you wish to represent yourself, you're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Private counsel.
Very good. State, what can you tell me?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Kearns doesn't have any history except for a dropped action for contributing to the delinquency for not taking her kids to school.
It was just dropped, Your Honor.
Okay. Carrie, I've got an address for you on Godfrey Avenue in Spring Hill. Is that where you work?
That's
Sorry.
business, but I no longer reside there.
Okay.
I reside on Merrill Lane.
What's the address?
14108 on
Okay.
Merrill Lane.
And are you working these days?
No.
Okay. How long has it been since you worked?
About a year since I was hit by a school bus in Hernando County.
Okay. Interesting. All right. On the grand theft auto, I'll set the bond at $1,000. That's coming back November 27th. On each of the remaining charges, the 6 remaining charges, that's a meth, 2 controlled substance, marijuana with intent, contraband, and paraphernalia. I'm going to set all of those at $1,000 each. That's going to make your total all the way around $7,000. They're all coming back on the 27th of November. Very important that you tell your lawyer about that court date when you speak to him, all right?
Okay.
Thank you. Nancy Kelly. Morning, Nancy.
Good morning, Your Honorable Judge.
What's your date of birth?
10/15/1962.
Okay. Nancy, what I have for you this morning is a warrant that I signed for a violation of probation. As to that charge, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
A public defender, sir.
All right, I'll appoint the PD.
Thank you.
Yep. And, okay. The bond on a BOP, Nancy, is, I'm sure you know, is no bond. I can't change that even for you. But I'll have you back in my court on December 5th. The PD will come see you, and then we'll see what we can do with your case on the 5th of December, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We'll see you then, Nancy. Jacqueline Lewis. Morning, Miss Lewis. What's your date of birth?
Good morning. It's 5/28/1978.
And Jacqueline, you're here on a probable cause arrest for a violation of probation. There is probable cause for the VOP. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
A public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD. Bond, of course, will be no bond. I'll have you back in court on the 27th of November. The public defender will come see you before we go to court, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Jennifer Young. Morning, Miss Young. What's your date of birth?
12/4/73.
Miss Young, the charge is battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to the charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State what can you tell me?
Your Honor, there was an action that was dropped in 2017 for battery. Another one that no action was taken for battery in 2011. An action dropped in 2006 for battery, and then a withhold on effect from 96.
All right. And Jennifer, I have an address for you on Pulitzer Avenue in Tampa. Is that where you live?
Yeah.
Okay. How long have you lived there?
5 years.
And do you live normally with Mr. Perez?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Who lives on Chambers Street in Spring Hill?
We both do.
So you live in Spring Hill and Tampa?
Yes.
Any other homes in the state of Florida?
No.
Okay. Any other homes anywhere?
No.
Just Tampa and Spring Hill?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Do you have a job these days?
No.
Very good. I'll set your bond at $2,000. Condition of the bond is that you'll have no contact with Mr. Perez. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message, you don't have a third person contact him, you don't contact him through any social media, you don't go where he lives, you don't go where he works, you don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine having contact, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bond will be revoked and will be held without bond until the charges are resolved. It means no contact even if he wants the contact, so if you answer the phone and hear his voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see him, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that he cannot drop the charges against you. That's not a decision he gets to make. He may go to the state attorney's office and request that the charges be dropped. You may tell them he's not interested in pursuing this matter, but that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they are not dropped and you should not have contact. In addition, I'm going to hold you today up until 4 p.m. so that if you wanted to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we'd know where to find you. If you get the civil injunction, it's doubly important that you not have contact, because in that case, not only would you get your bond revoked here, but you would get new charges for violating the injunction. I'll have you back on the 5th of December. Make sure that you contact the public defender when you get out, all right? Thank you. Zachary Beatty. Want to sir, what's your date of birth?
6/23/64.
Zachary, you're here on a charge of trespass. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender at this point.
I'll appoint the public defender at this point. State, what can you tell me?
Your Honor, this is the 5th trespass this year, and there's a long history of trespass, open containers, civil infractions for the same.
Okay. All right. And Zachary, you staying with somebody or living outdoors? What's going on?
Well, right now I'm working with my brother right now. I just got out of jail over a charge that I did 2 days over, and I'm trying to see if I went somewhere else where I normally am not at, just so I wouldn't get a trespass charge. I even go somewhere where I wasn't even at lately, no matter what, and y'all still seem to try it. So,
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to find a solution. Like, if I leave Florida, I'm gonna try to leave Florida. I think.
Okay.
TIA.
I'd be okay with that if you left Florida. That would
I
be okay.
don't have no problem. No, I don't have no problem.
So if you leave, send me a postcard. Let me know where you went, okay?
Definitely make sure you don't know where I'm at.
Okay. I'm going to leave your bond at the $500. I'll have you back in court on the 5th of December. If you get out, you got to come back to court, okay? Unless you move to New Jersey or something, then just send me a postcard.
Okay?
All right.
Yeah.
William Moncaleri. William, what's your date of birth?
June 17, 1979.
William, I got a warrant for you out of Pinellas County. The judge had signed the warrant, found probable cause for a VOP. Set your bond at no bond. I can't change that. We'll let the folks in Pinellas know that you're here and ready to go. I'll give them 5 days to come get you. If you're still here in 5 days, and that's unlikely, they'll bring you back to see me, and I'll find out what the holdup is, all right?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Daniel Morse. Daniel, what's your date of birth?
12386.
Daniel, you're here on a charge of battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public.
I'll point the PD, state.
Only this, Your Honor,
Okay.
in the history.
All right. And Daniel, I have an address for you on Campbell Drive in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yep.
How long have you been there?
Couple months.
Does Diana live there as well?
She stays there sometimes, but no, not really. She still stays with her mom.
Okay.
Let's bring me off.
All right. Do you have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I'm a certified AC technician.
Okay. I'm going to set your bond at $500. The condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Diana. Did you hear me explain no contact a moment ago?
Sorry, say that again?
Did you hear me explain what no contact means a moment ago?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Also have to hold you up until 4 o'clock this afternoon so that if she wanted to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we'd know where to find you. As far as that house on Campbell goes, if you get out and it turns out that's where she's staying, then you'll have to stay someplace else. In that instance, you could go by one time to collect your things, your clothes, your toothbrush, whatever you need for wherever you plan to go. But if you do that, you've got to contact the sheriff's office first. They would meet you there with a deputy who will stand by and get you while you get your things and get going where you're going. I'll have you back in court on the 5th of December. Very important that you contact the public defender when you get out, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Antonio Pasqualetti.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Morning, Antonio. What's your date of birth?
3/11/1988.
Antonio, I got 2 charges today. I have felony possession of marijuana and operating a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
The PD, please, sir.
I'll appoint the PD, Steve.
There was an action that was filed in 2017 for grand theft and burglary, fraud, but there's no disposition
Okay.
out of Broward. There's a violation of probation in 2015. The defendant was discharged, it appears, in 2011 from the union reception.
Okay. Anything else?
Your Honor.
Hang on a second, Antonio. I got an address for you on Center Street in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long you been there?
I just moved there 3 months ago, but I'm about to get a job at Checkers, and I work for an IT company.
Okay. Was there something else you wanted to tell me?
Yes. As far as that grand theft goes, that's with the same person this car belongs to now, my uncle. And that wasn't a grand theft because I had permission to have a vehicle, but I just didn't have. I was operating with a license.
Okay. All right. What I'm going to do on these is on the marijuana, I'll set the bond at $1,000, on the driving at $1,000, so your total's at $2,000. We'll have you back in court on these on the 27th of November. When you get out, make sure you contact the PD, okay?
Your Honor,
Yes,
I
sir.
don't have any money right now to afford a bond. Any bond would be like as if I couldn't afford one anyway.
Okay.
I was wondering if I could get released on electronic monitoring or something of that sort.
Yeah, this is Hernando County. We don't have that. That's fancy. We're not fancy
Sorry.
here. So you'll have to post a bond if you want to get out, all right? Thank you. Lee Pettit. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
September 10th, 1997.
All right, I've got two charges this morning. I got a strong arm robbery and a battery on a person 65 or older. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like a public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point the PD sticks.
Can you give me the last name again?
Pettit.
Pettit. This is the only thing in the history. Oh.
Okay.
At least that's what we had this morning, Your Honor.
Okay. Lee, I've got an address for you on Tree Haven Drive in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
A couple months now.
Okay.
Like 3 months.
You have a job these days?
Yeah, I work at a country club as a server and busser.
Okay. Set your bond on the robbery at $5,000 and on the battery at $2,000. That's a total of $7,000. Condition that is that you have no contact with Mr. Zhen. I got the feeling that you don't. Do you know him?
No,
Okay.
he's
Just stop. Don't. I don't want you to talk about it. You two are not friends or relatives or acquaintances or anything, right?
no, sir.
Okay. So I want you not to have any contact with him. So if you see him, stay away, okay? I'll have you back in court on the 27th of November. When you get out, it's very important that you contact the public defender right away, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Mark Russo? Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
August 9th, 1997.
Mark, I've got 4 charges this morning. I've got a false imprisonment, felony domestic battery by strangulation, assault, and tampering or harassing a victim. There's probable cause for those 4 charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself, you want to hire private counsel, would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD, State.
This is the only thing we're aware of this morning, Your Honor.
Okay. Mark, I have an address for you on Freedom Way in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Not anymore, but yes.
Is that where you were living yesterday?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How long had you been there?
6 months.
And was Miss Fussell living there as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
No, sir.
How long has it been since you worked?
3 months.
All right, Mark, I'm going to set your bond on the false imprisonment at $2,000, on the domestic battery by strangulation at $5,000, assault is $2,000, and the witness tampering is $2,000. That's a total of $11,000. Condition is that you have no contact with Ms. Fussell. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier this morning?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Also going to hold you up until 4 p.m. so if she wants to serve you with a civil injunction, we know where to find you. You'll be back in court on the 27th of November. As you already have figured out, you can't go back to Freedom Way. If you have things there, clothes, a toothbrush, or whatever, you can go by one time to collect those things. But you must contact the sheriff's office first. They'd meet you there with a deputy who'll stand by while you got your things and got going where you're going, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Scotty Woodall? Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
10/3/79.
Scotty, this looks like it was a warrant that I signed for failing to appear in my court on driving on a suspended license. State, this looked like something you can resolve this morning. You've got his license is suspended for insurance.
Oh. Yeah.
Originally, it was a notice to appear. Yeah, I know.
Okay. Credit time, sir.
Yeah. I think that's right. No, there's nothing on here. Scotty, if you want to resolve it today, you can plead no contest. If you do that, I'll sentence you to time served, the 1 day that you've already done in jail, and then there'd be a fine and court cost of $488 and $50 for the day in jail. Those would just be one other thing that you'd have to clear up if you ever wanted to get your license back. But this case would be over and you'd be out of jail today. Is that something you'd like to do?
Yes, sir.
Very good.
I'll plead no contest.
All right, I accept your plea. I'll find it's freely and voluntarily made. You understand by entering that plea, you give up the right to have a trial by jury, the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to remain silent, the right to have a lawyer, but you want to give those up so we can take care of this today?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Case number 18 CT 1273. That's the charge that you drove knowing your license had been suspended or revoked. How do you wish to plead? You can plead. You just pled no contest. I will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 1 day in the county jail. Credit 1 day served. Fine and court costs is $488 and $50 for the day in jail. That takes care of it, Scotty. If there's nothing else keeping you in the jail, you'll be released today. All right?
All right, thank you, sir.
Stephen Mack. Morning, Stephen. What's your date of birth?
11/8/60.
Stephen, you're here on a warrant I signed. I found probable cause for a violation of probation. The folks at probation are recommending 30 days in the county jail. If you'd like to accept that this morning, you can. But before you make that decision, I'll let you tell you that if you don't accept it, you'll be back in court on the 5th of December. And the 5th of December is longer than a 30-day sentence on a VOP. So you want to take the 30 days on the VOP, or you want to stay where you're at and have a chance to talk to a lawyer?
Yeah, I'll see where I'm at.
Okay. I will appoint the public defender, set the bond at no bond. We'll have you back on the 5th of December, all right? If not sooner.
All right.
Thank you. And Glenwood Harrison. Want to start with your date of birth?
1/18/93.
All right, Glenwood, this morning we have driving under the influence and driving on a suspended license. Looks like they charged that as a felony. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself, you want to hire private counsel, would you like the public defender?
Defendant.
I'll point to PD. I'm going to leave the bonds for the schedule on those two counts, which is $1,000 on the DUI and $5,000 on the driving. I will have them back on the 26th of November, which is where your other felony case is. And then the other thing we're going to do this morning, Harrison, is that job number one when you're out on bond on criminal charges is don't pick up new criminal charges. It appears to me that you have. Therefore, pursuant to Florida Statute 903.0471, I'm going to revoke your bond. In case number 18MM3234, that'll be back in front of me. Well, that's today. We'll talk about that later. And I'm also going to revoke your bond in 18CF2236. That's your felony case in front of Judge Toner. You'll be back in front of him on the 26th, but you'll stay right where you are at least until the 26th. Judge Toner can revisit your bond issue if he wants to when you get back to see him. Public defender will come see about your cases before you go to court, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
So,